Hi, so I just want to do another video because I haven't done one in a while, I know, but so this one I want to make it for spreading awareness of just awareness because that is like the most important thing, and not only this spiritual journey, raising consciousness or getting higher in the chakras or whatever, being able to understand your body better. It's not only great to be more aware of stuff and what's going on in the world, like, that's why people watch the news or read CNN or whatever, or they go online. And yeah, I guess maybe that's the premise of clickbait, because people just like to know all these random things, which, I mean, isn't the best because the human brain is only designed to handle so much information at once. So that's why I meditate. And that brings me to my first point, because um, meditation, we need to spread awareness about meditation because it's like the greatest thing in since forever. In fact, the like Vedas, the um Hindu traditional holy scriptures say the whole world is a Maya illusion, and meditation is the only way to find out the truth. But when I meditate, I see these images that kind of look like chakras or geometric shapes or random things that I feel like maybe they have more to do with the spiritual universe than this universe, or they're just shapes of, I don't know, just keep your eyes closed and, uh, the reason it's not taught in school, the reason meditation isn't taught in school is because it's a great tool to, like, get away from all the being a slave to the system. Or, I don't know, it should be taught in school. It's awesome meditation. I love it. Um, sometimes people after they meditate, they hear weird things. Like one time I heard a baby crying, and no, there is no baby in my house. No baby in my house, so I mean, one time my parents went to they went to go see a hockey game without me. Like, I don't like hockey, so I just wanted to stay home, and I just meditated the whole night, and I think I stayed up the whole night, and or I fell asleep briefly, and then when I woke up, I looked to my right and I saw a mirror image of myself out, like, on right next to the bed. And no, there's not a mirror there. I can't believe you think I'd be that stupid. I mean, every morning when I wake up, I don't see a mirror image of myself. I mean, that'd be kind of weird to have a mirror, right? It's on this side of the bed, so it's blocking. If I was trying to get out, I couldn't, you know, get out with a mirror there. Uh, No, there's sugar awareness week. Uh, because now that sugar is so like added sugar is so much more prevalent in the standard American diet. That's bad. Like sugar awareness week, just like there's, I guess, pancreatic cancer awareness week. There's coronary heart disease awareness week. There's, I guess, type 2 diabetes week, childhood obesity week, awareness week. There's just a bunch of awareness things because, I mean, that's whenever like scientists or the higher up people discover this new issue, they say we should just raise awareness because, with people still doing the thing they're not supposed to do, it's bad. Like the Kindred fungus, an environmental issue. You should just raise awareness about the Kindred fungus that's decimating frog populations. So just by raising awareness, you can tell people, if you're ever hanging out in these, like, really wet areas, wetlands that are likely to be frog habitats, always wash your hands and disinfect your boots and everything, because you might spread it. Yeah, like the scientists, they were trying to find out, so they're walking all over the Amazon rainforest, because that's one place where it was in the Amazon rainforest before it was in the United States. And then they figured out, and they were like, oh shit, we didn't wash off our boots. We were spreading it the whole time. So it's like, yeah. I think there should be a strabismus awareness week, strabismus amblyopia, because, I mean, I have that. That's a eye alignment problem where it's it's just where your pupils are rotated. Or at least there's some different types of strabismus, and so I have strabismus amblyopia. My pupils are both rotate 45 degrees, and it's kind of annoying. That's why sometimes a person with strabismus driving will close one eye because they ordinarily don't have peripheral vision on the other side. So that's why my mom would panic sometimes when she's driving with me because she thinks I'm asleep, and sometimes I'm watching a movie or in class in school and I have one eye closed because I can still see with one eye, and she comes up to me and says, "Stay awake! Like, don't fall asleep." And I wasn't falling asleep, it improves my vision. Sometimes I just like to only have one eye open, my left eye, because I normally only see with my right. So just awareness, great to raise awareness. Are you aware that there are a bunch of new documentaries about witches, like the resurgence of witchcraft in like Britain and London? There's Manchester. I guess there are people that call themselves witches, and I mean, not really. It's not like you see it with Disney and the Snow White, the mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. I mean, there is scrying. A lot of witches do scrying, which is kind of with mirrors. There is talking to yourself in a mirror, but if you want to see the real thing, type in the Magic of Solomon documentary. I'll include a link in the description of that great documentary about the OTA, the secret society that you're ordinarily not allowed to see, but now you can. I know there's so many good documentaries like Cowspiracy. I don't know if you've heard of that, but Cowspiracy is just on Netflix. Netflix has good documentaries. Like, I just watched American Circumcision, because I mean there is a very controversial issue about circumcision. It's like the United States is the only developed nation that does it for non-religious reasons at the level we do it. So I know it should be up to the person whose body is being altered. I know this foreskin is very important. It's like, why do we still circumcise? Maybe in biblical times it prevented STDs or whatever. Like, I think the actual reason people started was because priests thought it would keep boys from wanting to masturbate. And no, boys masturbate with foreskin or not, so I don't know why. It's like, and now we have like showers and personal hygiene, so I don't see there's no point in circumcision. And for girls too, like everyone hates it. No one feels good after it. It's terrible. There are guys who are livid about it who wanna kill someone over it. They're suing the hospitals. They feel like they were raped. It does cause trauma. The babies cry so much. Oh, and I'm watching this documentary, Root Cause. It's called Root Cause about how root canals with your teeth are really bad because 98% of women who had breast cancer also had a root canal on the same side as the offending breast. That's one thing, and just the mouth, like problems in the mouth cause a lot of other problems in the body. So that's the source of toxicity of root canals, or at least according to that documentary. There's a documentary, the Culture High, about how pot should be legal. The Culture High, there's Cowspiracy, What the Health, what other, that that really popular TV series on Netflix, Stranger Things, is it's modeled after the MK Ultra, the government experiments on mind control of MK Ultra, and yeah, so it's true. This affects on the brain. The government is trying to control population, like with sodium fluoride being acid water. That's one way because I heard that Adolf Hitler added sodium fluoride to the drinking water in his concentration camps also because he realized it made the prisoners, very passive, and yeah, so we had to spend less money on guards. And it's being added in the United States too, so I see no reason. It's toxic. In fact, all halides that includes chloride, fluoride, I think bromide, some others, all halides are terrible for the pineal gland. They calcify your pineal gland because I think calcium blocks your third eye from being worked. It's overexposure of, anything in excess is terrible. But I mean, like, you can't say meat in excess because the whole population over the whole world, most people are eating a lot of meat. Like, most people would sooner choose a steak over carrots. So, it's all being in excess. I mean, like, the animal agriculture industry and dairy industry are terrible for the environment, not just the environment. Because there's these things called CAFOs, CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations, where these animals are kept in these really small crowded pens, these corrals, and so they're standing in their own feces their whole time while eating being fed hay or whatever, and so there's all sorts of diseases that travel. That's why animal agriculture accounts for, I think, like 75% of antibiotics. That's why it's contributing to the antibiotic treadmill. How humans are facing a future where we can't use antibiotics anymore. Not only that, but it's like these animals. There have been studies where they can identify themselves in the mirror. Like they run away from pain, so it's like, why do people? They're so They have so much aversion to eating cats and dogs, but it's like, so why do we eat pigs and chicken? Like some people have pet pigs and chickens and rabbits, and it's like just a bunch of extra cholesterol that we don't need. That's something else I wanted to raise awareness about. LDL is the bad cholesterol, HDL is the good cholesterol. And people, the reason they eat eggs so much, people say there's good cholesterol in the eggs. Well, there have been a lot of studies done that show no, eggs actually raise LDL, and they also raise HDL, but they raise LDL, the bad one, way more than HDL, the good one. So I don't think there's no reason to eat eggs. It's like the reason people started chicken coops and eating meat and stuff, why there are also animals on farms, why people sometimes eat rabbits and chickens and whatever. It started as, when agriculture wasn't as reliable as it is today, because today we have super efficient irrigation. We can grow it in climate controlled conditions in greenhouses. We get super big yields with GMOs and pesticides. Monocropping used to be more prevalent, which was really bad. And now we know how to make it so the soil is more sustainable and how to replenish the soil to grow the plants. But, with the animals, it started because meat was the only thing calorically dense enough for humans to live from week to week, when they might find a few wild dandelions or wild red clover or wild English ivy leaves, or wild grapes, wild apple tree, wild pear tree if they're lucky, wild kale. So that stuff. I also wanted to raise awareness about how, did you know carrots are really bad for rabbits? Because they're really high in sugar, and they're not in a rabbit's natural diet. So I think any food that's not in an animal's natural diet is really bad for them. That's why you shouldn't feed bread to ducks or birds or any other animal besides. I don't know how good it is for humans because there is Dr. William Davidson that or Dr. William David that started, he wrote that book, Wheat Belly, that says the human body can't really digest wheat. The reason humans started eating it was because it was kind of a food of last resort, like, because in those bad climates, like in Scandinavia, it was the only thing that grew. It's like when you look at the plant, like, does that look tasty? You said, just really bad for you because, there's this new hybrid of the, I think, high yield semi-dwarf wheat, which is so more prevalent, and the, Roundup Ready is the pesticide, which is one reason people have problem with it. And there's also, it causes aging, like it's rapid aging. Grains accelerate the aging process, especially the non-whole grains. And there is usually additives, like it's not just wheat you're eating, but in breads there's also all those artificial flavors, artificial colors, like pulverized flour, and white flour is also really bad for the third eye, pineal gland, connection to higher consciousness. I think that's the thing when you're meditating, that it was like the internet before the internet. It was kind of your bandwidth, your antenna. It's great for being able to use your other senses besides your 5 external senses. Oh, and I should raise awareness about how Tai Chi is, the instructor says the benefits are like, well, one, if you have any diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, or I guess fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, just shifting your weight, going back and forth, is really good for just growing new bone. So it's not that hard. Like, let me show you one move. See, it's all modeled after shifting weight. That's all it is. So just shift weight, and guess that's how you grow a new bone. And the thing about osteoporosis is, did you know countries that have the highest rate of dairy consumption have the highest rate of osteoporosis? So now it's not good for your bones or anything. And there's calcium in leafy greens. There's calcium in kale and spinach and nuts, other leafy greens, cabbage, kohlrabi, or other leafy greens. I think there's calcium in a lot of things. Not just dairy. I mean, dairy has saturated fat too. And it's from another animal. It's for cows. Like, humans are the only organism, the only animal that drinks milk after infancy, so maybe it's not really that good for us. Like, maybe if you're eating cow's food that's designed for cows, you're going to turn into a cow. So if you're watching your weight, don't, like, milkshakes are, of course, not good for you. I mean, there's that stupid excuse. People say, I can't go vegan because nuts have a high fat content. And it's like, okay, well, do the non-vegan sources of protein not have a high fat content? You can get fat from steak. Steak has a high fat content. Blood sausages have a high fat content. Bacon has a high fat content. Chicken has a high fat content. Milkshakes have high fat content. Ice cream. Donuts. Donuts. I guess crackers, like goldfish is not vegan either, that has milk in it. Cinnamon swirl bread, that's made with eggs. Lemon curd, made with dairy butter. Oh no, always read the label, because it's it varies whether it's made with animal products or not. Or did you know Oreos are vegan? Actually, not healthy. I wouldn't eat them because it's really, really processed. And I think processed foods are really bad for the pineal gland and everything. So yes, you are what you eat. What you put into your body, of course, is like you're like a sports car. If you put in the right fuel, the right transmission fluid or whatever, it's gonna have an effect on how the body works, how the car works. Like an athletes need to be very conscious of what they're eating. I mean, that's why sometimes they try to restrict calories or, yeah, because I'm sure the standard American diet eats a lot more than humans are meant to. It's like our ancestors spent a lot of time walking, maybe up to 30 miles a day. That's mostly what they did. They walked to find food. And we don't walk as much these days. So, yeah. People should eat less. And to raise awareness about. Oh, did you know astrology or astronomy, the constellations? Like, there's not just Orion and I guess Aries and Capricorn and Cygnus and uh, Cepheus and Boots, things in the sky, the Northern Cross, the Great Bear, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, the asterisms like Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. No, there's all these other cultures. They still have a star system. Like I think in Navajo culture, they have the hole in the sky. Like I was at a traditional Chinese New Year's parade once, and after the woman who owns the store wanted to read us a traditional Chinese story about Snake Goddess and how she went around to all the animals and found these beautiful uh beautiful like crystals, like a turquoise crystal and things. And she said, I needed to patch up the hole in the sky. Because she said there was a hole in the sky that was making it so there was no color in the world. That's why she would send out beautiful clothes and stuff to the humans, but they wouldn't receive them because there was a hole in the sky that was sucking out all the colors. So I don't know what that story means, but I think all of it means something. um, there are great books you can get at the library. Like, you can just look up The Idiot's Complete Guide to Alchemy. It's that easy. All the information's there. You just need to go to your local library. There's The Gift of Kabbalah. It's easy to learn about Kabbalah. I'm actually reading a book right now. It's called Sister of Darkness. Sister of Darkness, because this woman, the one who wrote it, it's Chronicles of a Modern Exorcist. So she says she's like gifted. She's always seen entities, like the things that make people like eat away at their souls, and she's an exorcist. I guess some people call her a con artist, but no, I believe in. I mean, just read the books. If you don't read, like, there's a Witches of America. There's that book, Witches of America. But if you don't like read the information, if you don't do your research, don't expect to like don't jump to conclusion about it. Don't make declarative statements about it. Don't try to shape other people's opinions. I mean, look at the information first. Like, it's just information, it doesn't have to be scary. I wanted to raise awareness about, did you know yoga, the word yoga in Sanskrit, it means union, like union with the divine or yoke or and religion in Greek also means union. So they both mean union. So I guess yoga means religion. Yoga means religion, and I really like yoga because, I mean, that's just, like, as you start to even do trunk twists are, like, really easy move. I'll show you this move. You just sit in on your heels. This is called rock pose. So, I mean, every morning I do a bunch of those. Trunk twist, because that's just like the doctrine of martial arts, like of Tai Chi and everything, just says your body is a sponge. Like the human body absorbs everything in its environment, like not just what you eat and drink, but the diet is things you see, things you listen to, like hear music, or if you're listening to a podcast about, I don't know, I've heard some kind of crazy podcasts lately about like the existence of mermaids, or this one time I was riding with a guy who was listening to a podcast about cadavers. How I think China or Japan is the lowest rate of people taking organs from cadavers, because they consider like that's unclean in their religion, like Shinto. Want to raise awareness about but yeah, so there's a massive dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, dead zones like where there are algal blooms and it's too productive, or like where all the plants and the animals, like everything just dead. It's not how it should be naturally, but so that dead zone is the size of New Jersey because of a runoff from CAFOs, the nitrates from the cow poop, and there's just a runoff from all this non-organic agriculture. Yeah, it's also, a lot of people don't know, we also tear down the rainforest, like the Amazon rainforest. Major cause of deforestation is cattle farming. Like, there's such high meat demand, we need to companies are going down, having bulldozers tear down many acres, football-sized areas of Amazon rainforest every day, because they need land for their cows to graze and eat. Because that'd be better if they grass, but now half the world's grain is being fed to cows to make them fatter faster, which is really bad because that's not in their natural diet. I mean, you can just look at grass-fed beef side by side with like corn or grain-fed beef. It's different. Like, animals that eat a different diet, if they're unnatural, like farm-raised salmon have different, they don't have as many omega-3s as like wild salmon, I think. Yeah, it's different. You are what you ate. You are what the diet of what you ate was. So, and actually there is a thing about, you get more energy from plants than animals, because as energy from the sun, as it goes up trophic levels, it decreases, it's cut by 10, it's a tenth of what it was. So the plants get 10% of the sun's energy, and the people who eat the plants get 10% of that energy. And the animals that eat the animals get 10% of that energy. So the animals, they eat the animals, they eat the animals, get 10% of that energy. So I mean, it is kind of, I don't see there's every reason to eat more plants and not. I mean, meat is just a bunch of cholesterol. It's like we don't need it. Saturated fat. Uh, so I also wanted to raise awareness about, there's so many good documentaries. There's a documentary about, on YouTube, you can just type in how to, or like, understanding Qi and Qigong. So about the new field of medical science studying the bioelectric body of the human, how we interact with Qi. Qi is a real thing. It's been Taoist or Buddhist monks have been tested with a heat detector, and yes, they produce it. Like, there's this, you can type in Chinese man with incredible abilities, incredible healing abilities. Because, I mean, I've seen videos of people using Qi to ignite fire. I know Qi is really, it's like the fifth element. It's like prana. I mean, why do they always leave out Mojo? Mojo's kind of the same fifth element, spirit. There's Merkaba Merkaba documentaries on YouTube. Merkaba documentaries from Spirit Science. There's crystals. I guess I wanted to raise awareness about that. Crystals are really good for raising your energy. Because, I mean, think about it. Crystals can only be made by many years of, animals dying, and then it gets put in the fossil record of, their decaying bodies make these beautiful things. Guess I'll get you out of light. I like crystals. Amethyst, and then there's red jasper, which is really good for opening your third eye. Like, there are people, a lot of people meditate with a crystal, they sit it on their third eye region. That's really good. Or just somewhere on your body. Like, there's citrine, which is citrine said to be really good for attracting money. I know there's all these, like serpentine, that's a green crystal that's said to be really good for, really, like, creating a protective layer around your aura, like a force field, so it's really good for, having more connection and remembrance of dreams or past lives or something. So it's really good for like protection and everything. There's also a bunch of different ways to breathe. I'll raise awareness about that. There's Bastrika breathing, like there's bellows breathing. Breathing, of course there's not just one way. There's this pranayama that's designed for DMT. I'll show you. It's So I think that's in through the nose, out through the nose, in through the mouth. Or nose, in through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the mouth, out through the nose, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. So the sequence is nose, 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 mouth, mouth, and nose, mouth, mouth. I know, because when I do that enough times and start to like not think about it, that's meditation, just focus on your breath. Like, I think that's what meditation is, just focusing on one thing at a time. That's why a lot of people say origami is meditation, like if you know what you're doing, or if you light a candle and just focus on the candle. A lot of people say that's a lot easier to like silence your brain and meditate. Or what else is meditation? I guess just walking can be meditation, or like if you go running, or a sport, playing sports, focusing on one thing at a time. Like coloring could be meditation. Like drawing. If you release yourself, like, oh, that makes me remember another thing I want to raise awareness about. Ikigai, they say the Okinawans have such a high life expectancy because they have this philosophy called Ikigai, which has 5 pillars of starting small, releasing oneself, harmony and sustainability, finding joy in the little things, and being in the here and now. Which I think that's definitely important, because being in the here and now, that's kind of a way to destroy someone's mental health. It's really good to be able to be in the here and now and be present, because they say like Tai Chi and Qigong and I guess meditation and all martial arts, like they just raise awareness about, make it so you're more present. So you be more focused on the present moment. I mean, the reason things that aren't meditation would be thinking about something that isn't in the present moment. Thinking about what happened yesterday, or worrying about what will happen tomorrow or next week or whatever. Or what you're going to have for dinner that night. Or what you're going to have for breakfast the next day. So Ikigai, that's a really good philosophy, because there have been studies that show people with Ikigai they have less cardiovascular problems. And if you're concerned about your cholesterol levels, well, your liver has adapted, it's evolved to make its own cholesterol. So you don't need to get extra cholesterol from dairy or meat, animal products. There's a lot in dairy, so that's really bad. Cholesterol, high cholesterol is like so common. Like as the age group goes up, the cholesterol rate goes up. I don't know why, but it's like, yeah, it's really bad. There's documentaries about the Tibetan Buddhists in Tibet, because it was kind of at the time vanishing culture about the Chinese Revolution was bad. The Chinese Revolution, I think they conquered Tibet and they kicked out the Dalai Lama, and he had to flee to Taiwan or America, or China was not. We were going through a rough patch with the communists and Marx and our Mao, and yeah. Well, I also wanted to raise awareness about E.A. Koetting with Become a Living God is on YouTube. It's really easy to just find out these things about. He does videos about invocations or evocations with working with these ancient deities of like Odin, Freya, I guess Isis, Astarte. He's EA Coeting. I'll put a link in the description to one of his videos. He's a really good resource for any path workings in any alternative religions, or the old world, the things that that Catholic Church has tried to Christianize and get rid of, that they've maligned with, that the Christian Church maligned. I'll raise awareness about, I think the Christian Church caused the Black Plague because, for whatever reason, they went to massacre all the cats in Europe because they thought cats were connected to the devil, so they killed all the cats, so the rat population got out of control, and that caused Black Death. I wanted to raise about Candlemas. Candlemas, or all these old cultures have their own holidays. Like tomorrow, February 2nd, is Groundhog Day, and in traditional cultures, they call that Candlemas, or Imbolc, or Candlemas, or I don't know the other names, but there are a bunch of other names. And, for all the modern holidays, like, there's Mabon, there's Litha. Like, Midsummer became Litha, Samhain became Halloween, Yule became Christmas. So, there are all these pagan cultures that I don't know why had been maligned, and they had to change the names and everything, but so you can look it up. The Wheel of the Year is really good for studying about all this ancient stuff that doesn't, from the old world, and it doesn't get talked about anymore. I'll say I want to raise awareness about just raising awareness, guys. That's me, and that's really good. The color of your food matters. That's why they say to open your third eye. Anything purple that you eat, like I guess purple grapes, or like red grapes, raisins, I guess purple kale, because kale, it comes in all those different colors. You think of it as just green, but no, there's white kale, purple kale, and green kale. So, all these foods like pumpkins, you think in the pop culture you only get one version of what reality is. You only see one version of, like, the most common is just ordinary green kale, but no, there are so many different types. There's Russian kale, there's like bamboo. You ordinarily only think of bamboo growing in China or whatever, but no, it's actually there's a lot of bamboo growing in the rainforests and the jungles of South America, Central America. There's Gajwa, I think Gajwa bamboo. It's really good for like by rivers. It's like river cane. It's called river cane, and people use it to build houses, and you just hear the popular stuff. Like basil. Most people just do sweet basil or maple syrup, or they think you can only get it from sugar maples, but no, you can get from silver maples or just about any maple to get sap for syrup, and you get from walnut trees, like black walnut trees. So it's just the popular stuff, and then there are all these different types. Like, they're just popular bananas, and no, there's red bananas, there's oh, did you know all your bananas that you buy at the store, they get before shipping, they're kept in a room with ethylene gas. They're treated with ethylene gas to give them the iconic yellow color. So I think you can order non-gas bananas, which I don't know if that's good, or it'd probably be better when gas would be. I don't know what that does to bananas, but there's only one type of banana we commonly eat these days, the Cavendish. That's why banana flavored foods don't taste like bananas. They taste like the Gros Michel, because that we monocropped with the Gros Michel. We were monocropping, and then there was this fungus, this really bad fungus, and all of a sudden we're down to one type of banana. So, it was really bad, because that's why bananas, they kind of look like they don't have seeds, because they're hybrids, they're clones of, we've just selectively bred over and over. I think all navel oranges, they're clones too. They've been selectively bred. Like, grafting is a thing in a lot of fruit cultures. They just take a leaf or a branch from an existing tree, and they just put it on a shoot, because like apples, when you plant apples, it could be any type of apple. Just because you get the seeds from a Granny Smith or a Macintosh or whatever doesn't mean it'll be that same apple. It'll be any type of apple. So they have to use grafting to make sure they're getting the right type of apple. I don't know how good that is for the environment or whatever. The apples or selectively breeding, not artificial selection. Don't think that's the best thing. That's why purebred like cats and dogs aren't. I don't like purebreds. I think that's stupid. Why purebreds are so much hoity-toity, and why they're said to be superior. What else I want to raise awareness about? How, it's that easy, like, become a living god on YouTube. It's just type that in, and there's Spirit Science. They have documentaries. There are documentaries about, it's by the Crow House. Have you ever heard of the Crow House? They're really good with, that guy talks about all this stuff that, is being hidden with the veil, or, the people at the top are, he's kind of aligned with people like destroying the veil, and I wanted to raise awareness about Hajiki seaweed. Seaweed is really good for you, but I guess Hajiki is kind of infamous for soaking up a lot of arsenic. But no, I like Hajiki, and but just ask how much you eat. Want to raise awareness about exercise, how it improves memory and everything, and cognitive abilities. How that's the reason there's a phrase, jog your memory. Oh, I need to get back to how I said the color of your food matters. So that's why purple peppers are really good for opening your third eye, or I guess eggplant, but I don't know, because eggplants naturally aren't purple, they're naturally white. because there's a list of foods that humans have changed dramatically from their natural state. Corn, in its natural state, looks more like a green bean or string bean, so we've definitely changed that a lot. Bananas, normally they have seeds. Today they don't really have seeds. It was peaches. We've increased the amount that's flesh and reduced the pit size. Avocado, same thing. Tomatoes, strawberries, so eggplant, watermelon, carrot. They used to be purple, actually. You can still get purple carrots, that'd be really good. See, carrots, cucumber, that kind, corn, bananas, carrots, eggplant, tomatoes, peaches, avocados, strawberries, you say tomatoes, watermelon. I think that's all of them, but so yeah, just raise awareness is a really good thing. Love to learn. Like, just the popular stuff is not, like, the popular knots are just kind of just higher shoes, but there's the reef knot, there's the granny knot, there's square knot, there's the figure 8 knot, there's anchor hitch, there's highwayman's hitch, there's all these things that you don't hear about because they're just not popular. There's the bowline knot, there's slip knot, there's, I think, just a bunch of stuff you don't hear about. So, have a good day, guys. Tomorrow is Candlemas, or, all of these pagan holidays that have just been Christianized and given names, been renamed. So have a good day. Stay tuned for more awesome information, and I guess like this and share and or comment, and if anything I got wrong, or so I'll include links in the description, and stay creative and stay awake. Stay creative. Keep lucid dreaming. Try out lucid dreaming. Meditate, and I'll talk to you. I will see you in the future.